Namaste. It's Jacci. We're going to do a little bit of yoga practice together. So take a little time to get yourself set up. If you have a yoga mat, you can put that out on the floor. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can just lie down somewhere on the floor where you have plenty of space to stretch your arms over your head. For today, we're going to start seated. So I have 2 blankets here to sit on. Maybe you have a towel or blanket or something kind of firm that you can stack up for sitting. You could sit on a yoga block. That's a nice tool too, so get what you have. It's nice to raise the hips up for sitting. It helps to keep the spine nice and long and tall. So as you're getting yourself settled, you can close the door of the room that you're in, turn off your devices, give yourself a little bit of time. So maybe in the next 30, 40 minutes, a little self-care. And again, we'll start seated. So I'm going to go ahead and sit down. As you're coming to sit, you may like just crossing your legs this way. That's fine. I like lining my feet up, but you see what's nice for you. Again, raising the hips up, very helpful for sitting so we can keep the spine long, especially the lumbar spine. If when you sit, your knees are way up, your hips are a little bit tight, and this is how you're sitting, you can do this by, you can just sit with your feet out in front of you. You'll be able to lift your spine, and you're welcome to just sit that way. So we'll just sit for a little bit at the beginning. So once you get yourself situated, you can start to rock side to side. Notice your body, notice your hips. And as we rock, I'm going to just let the eyes and the head turn side to side. So you're moving your neck, you're moving your eyes, you're scanning the space that you're in. This is a way to settle, a way to get oriented. Also a nice gentle stretch for your neck. And then coming to the center, let your shoulders line up over your hips so you're not rounding your back and you're not leaning forward. So draw the shoulders back, lift your chest. And then let your head go up and down, so you can lower your eyes, lower your chin, and then lift your chin, lift your eyes. And again, a little movement for the neck and a movement for the eyes to help us get settled, to get oriented into the space where we are. And then the next time you inhale, lift your head and come to the center. Let your shoulders relax. And we're going to take a couple of breaths with a sigh to just let go of the day. So take an inhale, shrug your shoulders. And exhale. Let the shoulders drop down. Let out a breath. Take another breath in. And then exhale. So sitting comfortably, we're going to do a little movement with our arms and start to think about coordinating our movement with our breathing. So exhale, draw your hands into the belly, and you want to hug in the belly. And on the inhale, let your hands float out to the sides, thumbs up, and the chest opens, arms open. And then exhale, bring your hands back, hugging your belly in. So breathe in and out through your nose. Again, big inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift your hands a little higher. Exhale. So one more like that. Inhale, lift your arms a little higher if you can, and when you exhale, just let them come down by your sides. And when you inhale, lift them out to the side and up, the whole side body lengthening. Big breath. Exhale down. You're welcome to lower your eyes, even lower the chin here. Inhale up. Exhale down. And we're starting to coordinate our movement with our breathing. So a big, slow in-breath. You feel this lifting movement. Now this exhale, let your right hand come over to the floor. Lean over. Let your left arm drape over your head. And let the inhale bring you back up, both arms up. Big inhale. Exhale over to the other side. Big inhale back up. We'll go to each side one more time. Exhale over. Inhale, lift. And again, exhale over. Inhale, lift. And exhale, both arms down. And one more repetition, just both arms. Big, slow, lifting breath. Inhale. And exhale. And once your arms are down, You can roll your shoulders and turn your head, and then we'll stretch the legs out. So take a moment to just move your legs, your knees, your ankles. You can even do some ankle circles. For the next part, we're going to come on to hands and knees, so you may find it helpful to use one of these, your blanket or a towel or whatever you have to pad your knees. So once you come to all fours, so we're going to stack up the joints like a table. We call this tabletop position. So the hips will be right over the knees and the hands right underneath your shoulders. And still working with this idea of coordinating our movement with our breath. Slow inhale, lift your chest and your eyes. As you begin the exhale, again, hug your belly in. You start to feel the back round and then sink back to child's pose, letting the elbows touch your hips, sink back, and your head bow down. And then glide back up to tabletop on your inhale, lift your chest and eyes. And exhale, rounding back. So breathing in and out through the nose. Inhale up here. And then pulling in the belly as you round back, letting the elbows touch. Now on this inhale, as you come up, let your right leg stretch back behind you, and you can flex that foot, point the toes down, lift the chest. And on the exhale, lower your knee down, fold back to child's pose. And then do that with the other leg. So inhale, left leg lifts. Lower your knee down, sink back to child's pose. This time we're going to add the opposite arm. So as you inhale, right leg and the left arm, so leg back, arm forward, and your eyes can look down. And then slowly down, exhale, maybe they touch at the same time, your hand and your knee. And then glide back up, left leg, right arm, inhale. Slowly down, exhale. So see how much control you can have as you do these movements. Let's do one more time to each side. Right leg, left arm, inhale. And down on the exhale. And left leg, right arm, inhale. And down on the exhale. Now this time, lift your right leg only. You can pick it up and do some movement with that ankle. And then put your right foot down so that your toes are touching and you can push your heel back. And you might notice how that levels out your hips. And while your foot's on the floor, please inhale your left arm forward. Hold on your exhale, hug your belly in. And as you inhale, let the right foot float up. So your heel would be right about the height of your hip. Lift your chest. On the exhale, hold in place. Or if you like, you can lower your toes back down to touch. On the inhale, lift your foot or just lengthen a little bit. So again, on the exhale, hold in place or touch your toes down, hug your belly in. Inhale, lengthen, maybe a little more lift in the chest. And one more. Exhale, feel free to touch your toes down or hold. Inhale, lift your foot, lengthen, and then exhale, everything down to the floor. Fold back. You might want to give your right wrist a little shake. Inhale, tabletop. One breath back to child's pose. Breathing through the nose. Now let's do the left leg. So come up on the inhale, take your left leg back. Again, you can hold it up for a moment, circle your ankle, and then put the toes down on the floor. Let your heel push back so you feel a little lengthening in the back of that leg. And while your foot's on the floor, inhale, right arm forward. Hold on your exhale. Hug the navel in. Inhale, lift the foot, lengthen the arm. Now exhale, hold in place or touch your toes back down if you like. And on the inhale, lift your foot, lengthen your arm. Same again. Exhale, hold in place or touch your toes down. Belly in. Inhale, lift your foot, lengthen your arm. One more breath. Exhale, hold in place or touch your toes down. Inhale, lengthen, lift the foot if you touched it down. And then exhale, put your hand down, put your knee down, fold back. Maybe the left wrist would like a little shake, and then inhale up. Exhale back. Inhale to tabletop, and just a moment to get off of our wrists. Please lower your elbows down to the floor. And from this position, you can make a little fist and circle your wrists. You can massage the wrist. You can let your hips sway side to side. It's called puppy pose, so you can wag your tail. And then please push yourself up with your hands. We're going to stand up on the knees. Again, you may want to pad your knees here. You can do this in standing if it just doesn't work for you to stand on your knees. One option here is to tuck the toes under. You can try it. Just a stretch for the bottom of the feet. Sometimes that's helpful. And then please inhale your arms up over your head from this position and see how that feels. Maybe your eyes go up as your hands go up. And as you exhale, lower the eyes down as the hands go down, and remember to pull your belly in. So a couple more as slowly as you can. Inhale, arms up. You could bend the elbows here if that's a little better for your shoulders. Exhale. Feel free to bend the elbows on the way down. So whichever version works for you. Inhale up. Exhale down. Pause when you get to the end of the exhale. So we're going to do it a couple of times with a twist to each side. So we'll start with the right arm back. So the inhale will be the same. Please inhale both arms up. Exhale, right arm back, left arm forward. Turn your chest, your shoulders, your eyes. Hug the belly in. Inhale back to the center, lift. Same side again. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center, and lift. All right, so this one, exhale down to the center. Just lower your arms, lower your eyes. Hug your belly in. Slow inhale to lift, and we'll twist the other way this time. Exhale to the left. Turn your head, turn your eyes, sweep your arms out. Inhale back to the center and lift. You go as slow as you can. Exhale. Back to the center and lift. Inhale. Exhale your arms all the way down, and just two more times with your arms forward. And again, you're welcome to bend the elbows. For some people, that's really helpful for the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. So checking in, how's this feeling for your back, for your neck? If your neck doesn't like it, look forward. Just keep your eyes on the horizon. Don't lift your chin so much. Exhale down. I think that was 2. So we're going to come back to tabletop to stretch out our low back a little bit after that movement. So please come to hands and knees. Inhale, lift your chest. Now exhale back to child's pose. Untuck the toes if you had them tucked under. Sink back. Inhale to tabletop. And exhale back. Inhale to tabletop, and then we're going to explore a couple of movements that our pets do. A lot of yoga poses are named after animals or mimic animals. So starting with your hands under your shoulders, we'll start with the downward facing dog pose. So tuck your toes under. We're going to push the hips up. And you might watch how your cats and dogs do this pose. So their back knees are bent and they're really lengthening their spine. So you could try it that way and then maybe pedaling out the legs one at a time. Sometimes called walking the dog. And then a few times we're going to go from tabletop to down dog. So with as much control as you can. Slowly inhale your knees down to the floor. Lift your chest and eyes. Tabletop. Pull your navel in. Exhale. Slowly push back up to dog pose. Pulling in the belly. Inhale. Knees to the floor. You could even let your knees just hover over the floor, not touch. And exhale back up to dog pose. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Tabletop. Lift the chest and eyes. Exhale, down dog. Now, inhale to your knees. For a moment, put your elbows down. Move your wrists again. Let your hips sway. This is puppy pose again. Various dog and cat movements. And then another movement that our pets do. If you push yourself back up to tabletop, on the exhale, we'll go back to child's pose, pulling in the belly. And as you go back this time, move your hands forward a bit, and even wider if you have room. And on your inhale, come up and let your hips shift forward. So this is upward dog. chest, eyes lift. In this variation, the knees are on the floor. On the exhale, pull back to child's pose, belly in. We'll do that a couple of times. So inhaling, shifting the hips forward, keeping a softness in the elbows so the shoulders are down. And exhaling back, pulling in the navel. One more time. Don't push, just go where it feels comfortable for you. And exhale back. Now, come up to inhale to tabletop, come up to all fours, and what we're going to do is a sequence where we put all those things together, up dog, down dog, and child's pose. So moving with our breath, please, from tabletop, inhale, lift your chest and eyes. Exhale, navel in, round back to child's pose. Slow. Inhale up to tabletop. Tuck your toes. Exhale, slowly push up to dog pose. Inhale to your knees. Remember, touching down with as much control as you can. Belly in as you exhale back to child's pose. Inch your hands forward a bit. Then on this inhale, we'll come up and do upward dog. So let the shoulders shift over the wrists and let the elbows bend a little bit as you come forward, any amount. Again, don't push. Exhale back. So we're going to do that sequence 2 more times. So inhale to tabletop. Just slide the hands back up underneath your shoulders. Exhale, pushing up to dog pose. Inhale to your knees, lifting the chest. Exhale to child's pose, pulling in the belly, and move your hands forward here. Inhale, forward to upward dog, lifting the chest, the eyes. Exhale back to child's pose, belly in. Inhale, tabletop, slide your hands under your wrists. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to your knees. Exhale back to child's pose, walk the hands forward. Last one, upward dog, inhale forward. And exhale back to child's pose. So this time you're welcome to stay in child's pose. When I come back, you might put your elbows on the floor. You might stack your hands up under your forehead. You could use the yoga block under the forehead. That's a nice tool. You can rock, widening your knees. The other option is to push up to downward dog and hold your dog pose for a few breaths, if you like. Whichever you're choosing, take a moment to notice. Notice your breath, notice your body. And then from wherever you are, we're going to come to standing. So if you're in downward dog, you can just walk your feet in. If you're in if you're in child's pose, you can just come up to all fours. Maybe you push through downward dog to come up to standing. And then if you had padding under your knees, just scoot that out of the way. Come on up and we'll give everything a little shake. So starting with the feet hip width apart here, we're going to do one of my favorite movements, this empty coat sleeves swinging. So super good movement to move fluid around your body, get a little movement in the different parts of the spine. If that back heel rocks up off the floor, you get to even move your hips as well as your neck and your thoracic spine. And then pause for a moment in mountain pose, standing tall. And remember how in seated we were trying to stack our shoulders up over our hips. So don't round, draw your shoulders back, lift your chest. Maybe a sigh. So we're going to do a little movement in the warrior one pose. So for this pose, we'll have the feet hip width apart. We're going to step the right foot comfortably forward so it's right in line with your right hip, and the left foot back. So that left foot is in line with your left hip, and that foot's turned out at a bit of an angle. And in the movement, we're going to breathe the same way. So inhale, the front knee is going to bend. You want that knee over your heel. So take a test bend. Make sure you have the distance that you want here. On the exhale, as that leg straightens, you can touch your belly. And then for the movement today, we're going to move the left arm. So you can let your right hand just rest on your low back. So inhale, bend the knee. Let your left arm sweep up, that whole left side, getting nice and long. Exhale, straighten the leg, lower the arm, pull your belly in. So no rush here. Inhale, bend the knee, left arm up. And if you like, you can try to watch your hand. See how that feels for your neck. Exhale. It also may affect your balance to look up. So you can always look at the floor or look at the horizon. Inhale. Exhale. So the next one we're going to hold there. So please inhale, bend your knee, lift your left arm up. Now as you hold on the exhale, pull your belly in. And as you hold on the inhale, lengthen. You could also lean forward slightly if this hurts your back here. Exhale, lean to the right. So let that raised arm drape over your head. Inhale back to the center and lift. Again, exhale, little side bend. Inhale, center. Now pause at the center. Lift your other hand up too. You can have them both up high. You can have the elbows bent. Some people like this nice opening in the chest here. A couple of breaths while you hold. You might feel a little work in your legs. When you get to your next exhale, you can bring your hands down. And if you like downward dog, you could do that pose here. The other option is to just step your feet together, give them a little shake and a little swinging. So if you're in downward dog, you might pedal out your legs a little bit and then just make your way on up to standing. And you can swing too. Or play with your horse lips. All right, and then please come to mountain pose. So we're going to pause for a moment. Just take a couple of breaths and notice the sensations in your body. Notice your breath. You could even close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Check in. How do you feel? And then blink your eyes open, and we'll do that pose on the other side. So this time we'll have the left foot comfortably forward and the right foot back. So again, the back foot's turned out at an angle. The right foot is lined up with your right hip, left heel in line with your left foot. And then bend your front knee, test bend. Make sure you get that distance that you like. Front knee over your heel. As you exhale, straighten the front leg and pull your belly in. You could even touch the belly here. And just do that one more time. Get a sense of this distance and where you are in your mat. Exhale. Now this time we'll explore the right side. So the left hand, the front leg hand can rest on your back. And as you inhale, bend the front knee, let your right arm sweep up. And you can decide about lifting your eyes or not lifting your eyes. Exhale, coming out of the pose, slow. So as you explore the movement, we'll do two more like that. See if you can breathe a little slower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So the next one we'll hold, do that little baby side bend. So inhale into the pose. Exhale, lean to the left. That raised arm can just drape towards your ear. And then inhale, center, lift, get long. Exhale, navel in. Now inhale, center. We're going to hold in place. You can lift the other arm up too. Maybe they're both up high. Maybe they're wide. Maybe the elbows are bent. You choose. We're breathing slowly still as we cultivate some strength in our legs. On your next exhale, please lower your hands down. Again, you can do downward dog, or you can step your feet together, come up to standing, shaking. So you can, even if you're in down dog, you can pick up your feet one at a time and kind of shake your legs like a wet dog. If you're standing with me, we'll just give everything a little shake, and I'll show you this little rebounding technique that helps things jiggle and shake. So I'm just going to let my heels float up off the floor. I'm going to bounce a little bit on my heels. It's called rebounding, like one of those mini trampolines. It's called a rebounder, and you can just shake everything. All right, so if you are in downward dog, for the next part we're going to lie back down on the floor, so you can just come onto the floor. If you're standing, take a breath. Get a sense of how you feel now. And then please come back to lie down. So we're going to lie down on our back for this part. So once you've come down onto your back, take a moment to glance around with your eyes. Just get a sense of how it feels to lie on your back, first time for our practice today. And then you can bring your knees into your chest, and we're going to massage the back a little bit by rocking, and just see what you feel. You can move the knees together, you can move them independently. You can move your ankles and toes, just massaging the back. And then we're going to do a little symmetrical movement after our warrior poses, which are kind of asymmetrical. Please inhale both legs up toward the ceiling. Push your heels up, spread your toes. And how does that feel now for your body? And on your exhale, bend your knees. It's okay if you want them a little bit wide. That's okay. Inhale, legs up. Spread your toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Now this time, as you lift your legs up, lift your arms up over your head to the floor behind you. So legs up, arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, lower your arms. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale, legs up, arms up. And you may kind of notice, exhale, bend your knees, lower your arms, that this position, when everything is up, is a little bit like down dog. We're just oriented differently. So we're still making an L shape with our body. Exhale down. So if you like, you can lift everything up, or maybe just your legs. And we're going to try to hold for a breath or 2. And on your exhale, soften your elbows, soften your knees. And on your inhale, lengthen back out. Do that one more time. Exhale, softening elbows and knees. Inhale, lengthening back out. And then just let everything come down. Let your arms come down. Let your knees come down. Let your feet lower to the floor. Just let your feet be wide for a moment. Just some very gentle rocking with your knees. Not super big, just a little movement. Again, another way to massage your back, just a little baby windshield wipers. So that little movement we just did where we lengthen the legs up, lengthen the arms up is a nice way to kind of wake up the muscles if you want to explore a seated meditation. It's actually quite a nice way to prepare the body to sit. So if that's something you're interested in, you can try it. And then pause. You can have your feet a little wide, maybe the knees touching, hands on your belly or by your sides. Allow your body to begin to settle. So as we shift toward the last part of our practice where we just let the body relax, take a moment to glance around the space, again, orienting yourself, and then either look at one spot or let your eyes close. And letting your attention scan your body from your head down to your feet. Just notice any areas where you could perhaps soften, like your shoulders, or your hips, or your jaws. And then notice how you're feeling as you're lying here with your knees bent. How does that feel for your back? You may enjoy keeping the knees bent, just keeping that bend in your knees, or placing support under the legs. If you stretch them out, you may want to put your folded blankets under your knees or a pillow. You could even rest your legs up on a chair or the couch. That's really helpful for the back if you tend to have back pain. If it's comfortable for you to stretch your legs out flat, that's also fine. And then taking your hands either on the belly, that's fine, or by your sides. We're going to take a couple of breaths like we did at the very beginning and let out a sigh. So wherever you are in your breath cycle, please inhale. And then sigh. And one more time. Inhale. And then sigh. So there's nothing to do now except rest. So give yourself permission to rest, to be still. You don't even have to try to breathe. Just let your body breathe on its own. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be at ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all be at ease. May we all live in peace. So I encourage you to continue to rest here for the next 5 minutes or even 10 minutes if you have it. If that's challenging for you to be still, and it is for some people, try staying for 12 breaths. I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.